Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So you hear me get on here and shake and scream and bitch and moan about ecological damage and environmental degradation. Now, I do this for obvious reasons. The environment is a real thing. Human beings are part of that particular environment. As the environment goes, so does human life, or at the very least the ease at which human beings can exist in this particular habitat. We are making things far more difficult for ourselves. And there are more stark and terrifying signs of environmental collapse that are beginning to present themselves. It's hard to turn your eyes away from it at this point. You've heard me make this point about like 40 or 50% of the extinctions that have taken place over the last 50 years. You've heard me make the point that sperm counts in the West have dropped by like 40%. This idea of bees collapsing. Nobody knows why the bees are collapsing. They're just kind of vanishing, which is mind-blowing in and of itself. Plastic in our oceans by metric tons every year. I mean, thousands of metric tons every year. This is problematic. The amount of carbon that we've put into the atmosphere has gotten to the point where it's decreasing the nutrient density in our foods. We're killing ourselves. Our lifestyle, how we're living in this particular planet, is killing ourselves. That doesn't even touch climate change. This idea of more terrifying hurricanes, more sea level rise, some of these countries being sucked back into the ocean. We're doing bad things on this planet, and we're doing this based on this idea of a game space that raises up something that's not even real. Profit. We have a market-based solution in regards to how we organize ourselves. The market is not a real thing. Human beings are. The environment is. This is one more sign of this. This is The Guardian. Warning of ecological Armageddon, that's in quotes, after dramatic plunge in insect numbers. 3/4 of flying insects in nature reserves across Germany have vanished in 25 years, with serious implication for all life on Earth, scientists say. We're talking about global catastrophe. This is not one particular country is doing something or one particular country is, burning too much carbon or something. We're talking about global catastrophe. The ramifications for our decisions have had global impacts, and these are the impacts that are taking place. The abundance of flying insects has plunged by 3/4 over the past 25 years, according to a new study that has shocked scientists. Insects are an integral part of life on Earth as both pollinators and prey for other wildlife, and it was known that some species, such as butterflies, were declining. But the newly revealed scale of the losses to all insects has prompted warnings that the world is on course for an ecological Armageddon, that's in quotes, with profound impacts on human society. The new data was gathered in nature reserves across Germany, but has implications for all landscapes dominated by agriculture, researchers say. The fact that the number of flying insects is decreasing at such a high rate in such a large area is alarming discovery, says Hans de Kroon at Raboud University in Netherlands, and who led the new research. Insects makes about 2/3 of all life on Earth, but there has been some kind of horrific decline, says Professor Gulus of Sussex University in the UK, and part of the team behind the new study. We appear to be making vast tracts of land inhospitable to most forms of life, and are currently on course for ecological Armageddon. If we lose insects, then we lose everything. Or if we lose insects, then everything is going to collapse. We depend on scientists to explain our physical matter reality to us. These guys build our cars, they build our ships, they build our bombs, they build our way of life. The technological innovation in many respects has come from the breakthroughs that these guys have taken part of. The research. This kind of scientific paradigm of looking at the world and trying to come to some consensus on, all right, what's going on around us? What's actually real? Not religious belief, not political belief, not ideological belief to the degree that we can weed that out. But what's real? What can we determine through research and experimentation? These guys who build your world is telling you that your world is collapsing. They're telling you it in one way after the next. Whether you're talking about carbon, and in this case, whether you're talking about the way, how we do our agriculture, how we live our lives. If the insect population goes, yes, and I know they're annoying, but we go with it. We go with it. On Star Trek, it was only after there was ecological collapse that people started coming together, and you had this new sense of rational human beings. I would prefer not to get to that point, but that is the collision course that we seem to be headed for. So, all right, guys, I'll leave it at that. And mind you, Trump or Hillary, same. Neither does something that overwhelmingly addresses issues like this. Ultimately, they're talking about, crusting, messing around with edges. Donald Trump is immensely gross. But if Hillary Clinton was in office, in no way was she going to do anything that would have done something on the scale of climate change that needed to be done, based upon the scale of the threat. So, I understand, it's like, oh my God, Trump is pulling out the Paris Accords. Yeah, you needed more than that. You needed more than that. We're talking about a massive level of ecological collapse all across the world. This is not one particular country or that country. We're talking about our lifestyles, all of us as a human race, not American or German or English, all of us. All of us. If this is not going to be one country taking a hit, this is kind of the point I'm getting at. As human beings, each of us, all of us, will take a hit based upon the things that we have considered as normal living standard. It's not normal. It's not normal. It's normal from our context. But if you look at the context of what it's doing to the wider world and to the wider planet, we are existing in a game space that we ourselves have created. That game space is destroying our habitable environment, meaning the thing that we ourselves need to live. I'm trying to put this in context to the degree that I can put this in context, because this is a big fucking deal. This is a big fucking deal. Alright, I'll leave it. I don't want to belabor the point. Alright, guys. If you enjoy the content, feel free to share, like, and subscribe. And of course, you can always support through Patreon. Thanks, guys.